Hello, friends. Welcome to virtual indoor cycling. I'm going to be honest, today is one of those days that I had to really have a pep talk with myself, put on these cycling shoes and get going. I've been on vacation for a week at a lake, and what they say about lake life is absolutely true. Kind of like being at the ocean, you lose the urgency. Felt really, really good to slow down, but it's time to speed up again. So welcome. I know it's going to feel good to get back in the saddle. I just procrastinate, you know? For 3 days, I've had this class planned out. I've had time set aside. And I just keep saying, oh, I'll do it this afternoon. I'll do it tomorrow. Fellow procrastinators out there, do you hear me? Do you feel me? So I heard a saying once from a wise old woman who was a mentor of mine, and we were talking about procrastination, and she said, just do it for 5 minutes. Just take 5 minutes and do the thing that you're procrastinating. Work on the paper for 5 minutes. Clean the kitchen for 5 minutes. Draft that email. Do 5 minutes of workout. And it's so true. Once you get started, that's the hard part. And then an object in motion stays in motion. The hard part is getting that big boulder moving in the first place, right? Okay, so here's what's going to happen today. We've got 3 sections. The first section I'm just going to call a long warm-up. You're just going to gradually peak up to breathless. About 13 minutes. We're already a couple in. So go ahead and add some resistance to your wheel. Let's slow her down. 65. Moderate intensity. Section 2 is a hill, and section 3 is a hill. So section 2 is a short hill. It will get progressively harder, about 12 minutes. And section 3 is a longer hill that gets progressively harder. So just think of this ride as a nice long warm-up, short hill, long hill. Lots of calories to burn. Lots of stress to let go of, perhaps. A procrastination habit to break. Let's do this. Resistance on the wheel, stand up with me. All right, good job. Up and running. Have a seat. Scoot your hips way back. Find that wide part of the saddle for your sitting bones. Lift the tender tissue of the pelvic floor. Tender tissue. Point your tailbone back. Think of tailbone pointing to where the wall meets the floor behind you. Stand with me. Positioning is the same. Hips back, tailbone pointing to that place where wall meets floor. Pelvic floor is lifted, engaged. Come on down. So we're starting with that nice round, solid pedal stroke. Feel the front of the push. Feel the push of the pedal stroke. So quick little disclaimer. If you are ever riding with me and all of a sudden you lose sound, it's because I chose a song that is copyrighted and YouTube asked me, do you want to cut out that whole section or do you want to mute the audio? Because my voice and the music are combined in this recording, I don't have a choice. I have to just cut out both. And so that leaves you riding for a few minutes with no sound. But because I kind of build to these songs, that's what happens. 70 RPMs. Hips back. Add resistance. This might be one of those songs. 4 minutes, 65 RPMs. Let's see how we are with hand signals. Take your thumb, place it right here at the hip crease, and see if you can feel that little pinch where the hip bone meets the muscles of the thigh. Keep that pinch. Shoulders down. Add resistance. All right, we're breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Wiggle out your fingers, bend your elbows, chest lifted. Take one hand, place it on your hamstring. See if you can feel that muscle pushing. Add resistance. In through the nose, out through the mouth. All right. Take a tiny bit of resistance off. Stay right around 70 RPMs. Sorry if that got muted. I think that happened before with that same song, so We got muted. Thank you for hanging in there with me. Hard effort right now. Turn that resistance up. Challenging. Core engaged, so that means navel into the spine, but also up. Think of bringing your belly button in and up into the rib cage. Come on up. A little bit faster than the beat. Heart rate at the top. This is the end of our extended warm-up. Should be sweating. Nice deep breaths, everybody. Just settle in. We got a couple hills to climb. Whew. Come back down. Try to keep that resistance on the wheel close to 70 RPMs. I got you. So that 5-minute rule also works when you're ready to quit or give up. Can you keep yourself in the game for 5 more minutes? That's usually what it takes to kind of pull us over a hump. And you just hang in there for 5 more minutes. Try that on today, my friends. Nice deep breaths, everybody. We have got this. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, a smile on your face. Come back up with me. Let's keep that heart rate at the top of the scale. Not quite breathless, but close. Back down. Okay, here we go. Hill number 1. Slower down, 60 RPMs. We're back to moderate, so let a little bit off the wheel. We'll give ourselves a chance to taper up. So progressive resistance means that for about 12 minutes, this hill gets progressively harder. There's no letting up until we get to the top, and then we get to roll downhill in preparation for our longer hill. So 5 more minutes. Keep saying that. It's gonna take 5 minutes. I'm gonna do it now. And then once I get into it, I'm gonna trick myself. 5 more minutes. So let's do a little bit of visualization. Go ahead and close your eyes. And I'd like you to imagine actually being on a bike outside. Maybe you're an outside rider. Maybe you haven't been on a bike for years. Maybe even since you were a kid. But just picture being outside. It could be on your neighborhood street, a flat road near your house, just outside. Let your imagination take you outdoors. So you've got medium resistance, just enough to propel your bike forward on the road. You can feel a little breeze on your skin. It's warm outside, but you got a breeze. Feel this saddle. Feel your feet connected to the pedals and your hands on the handlebars. This actual bike, these 6 points of contact and your body balancing on 2 little tires. So just take in your surroundings. Where are you in this little visualization? Did you take yourself to somewhere beautiful and exotic? Or are you just going around your block? Just look around, take in the surroundings. What color is your bike? If you have an actual bike, just bring that color to mind, the frame. And if not, create one in your mind. It can be rainbow color, it can be bright pink, it can be boring gray. Gray is not boring, sorry. I just bought a new car and it's gray, so I'm not going to say that anymore. So we're going to take this little image, and depending on where you chose, you might need to change locations. We're going to start to head uphill. So in order to do this, you're going to need a little bit more gear. We'll stay right there at 60. And we'll give ourselves a little bit of a saddle break here. Nice deep breaths. 4 engaged. Reaching forward. Up we go. All right, so now that we're standing, we got a little saddle break. I want you to still feel that saddle tapping your hips as you move side to side. Abs engaged, really long through the spine, everybody. Knees are lined up over your shoes, over that middle toe. So if you're comfortable and you feel stable here with your body resting on 4 spots, close your eyes again. We're heading to the top of the world. So feel that breeze on your skin again. And picture in your mind a hill. Your bike slightly higher in the front than the back. There's a little bit of challenge under the wheels right now. You're starting to huff and puff a little bit. But real ride. Notice how effective this riding is. Just simply riding with resistance and good form. And we don't need to do any push-ups on the handlebars. We don't need to lift 2-pound dumbbells. We don't need to spin our legs like crazy hummingbirds. This is so efficient and effective. Your heart is pumping, your body's burning calories, your muscles are getting stronger just doing this. Exactly like this. Breathe deep, everybody. Get on up top of the world, my friends. Tap that saddle. Looking good. Have a seat, but do not take resistance off, all right? We're gonna keep that resistance and go Whew, a tiny bit faster. All right. All right. We have 5 minutes to the top. We're coming in at 65 RPMs. You're sitting tall. You're sitting light. You're sitting strong. So play along again. Close your eyes. Visualize more than a little hill, a real mountain. And when you're on this kind of hill, you look up and it actually looks harder than it is. Well, that's not true. It is hard. But on these steep hills, you kind of wonder, am I going to be able to do this? The answer is always yes. We just put one foot in front of the other, pushing forward, circle by circle. So picture that sensation of having your front wheel significantly higher than your back wheel, and that challenge in front of you. Everything's strong. You are capable. You have exactly what it takes. Your hips are even farther back. We're going to just give ourselves a little bit more of a hip crease so that we can use our glutes and our hammies more. See the hill. Let's find that rhythmic breathing on this steep hill. So it's in 4 pedal strokes, out 4. In 4, out 4. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Woo. Aren't you glad you didn't procrastinate? Aren't you glad you chose this activity to get you going? An object in motion stays in motion. Keep that breath going, rhythmic. You are outdoors. You're on a steep hill. You have exactly what it takes. Navel comes in and up into your rib cage. That's going to help you lift and sit lighter in the saddle. We got a couple minutes to the top and then we get to scoot downhill fast. Got that to look forward to. Wind in our face. Think of what you're sweating out, what you are leaving behind. Squeeze your shoulder blades in just a bit. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. One more minute, friends. Challenge yourself. Can you go a little harder on the wheel and a little faster with the cadence? Let's go breathless. Let's get to the top of this mountain with significant effort. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Almost there, almost there. Come on, don't give up yet. A little faster, a little harder, a little stronger. That's you. And we made it. Resistance comes back a little so that you can speed up and take about 3 minutes with fast cadence. Ooh. We made it. If you want to sit up for a second, you can, and shake it out. So, long warm up, short climb, all in preparation of the real work we have in front of us today, which is about a 25-minute hill. I know that sounds painful. Just 5 minutes, just 5 minutes, just 5 minutes times 5. Okay. Here's the good news. This hill starts with progressive resistance, and then it tapers back just a little bit. So we'll go to breathless, we'll come back to hard, moderate, we'll finish hard, okay? So we don't continue to peak up to breathless the whole 25 minutes. Deal? All right. So you're just flushing out your legs right now. You got a couple more minutes. Great time to stretch. Great time to drink water, hydrate, to celebrate what we've done already. Feel the way your legs are kind of flushing out. There's not a lot of effort. It feels easy, light, and loose. Just kind of letting that lactic acid dissipate, spread out. So when we talk about releasing toxins, so 5 days of vacation, you can imagine what that means for me. Lots of calories, mostly in liquid form. We'll leave it at that. And a lot of people think like sweat is detox. That is a way. But the number one way our body lets go of toxins, of old energy, exhalation. That's why high intensity cardio is such a good way to just let go of yesterday. Move all that stuff out to start pure, to start clean and ready. Here we go. 60 RPMs. Back to moderate resistance. About a 7 on a scale of 1 to 10. Feeling that push point. Settling in for a good 25-minute climb, and then we are done. So it's a pyramid of sorts. So we had a long warm up and we had a short practice session to get us ready for this. We did some visualization of actually seeing a hill in our minds. So I'd like us to all think about a real challenge in our life that kind of feels like a big mountain. So this could be something you've been procrastinating, putting off because it feels so big. And let's use that as motivation for staying just 5 more minutes or 25 and putting one pedal stroke in front of the other, because that's the only way to get through this thing. We can't go around it. We have to go through it, right? We have to go up it. So there are 6 songs. We'll be alternating in and out of the saddle. So if you'd like to just kind of get into the meditation of that challenge, maybe a sticky note in front of you. Could be a project, it could be a part of your house that you really have wanted to declutter. Could be an application, a resignation, creating something, dismantling something. It could be simply your health goals, reestablishing a workout routine, figuring out a way to be consistent there. So what's your challenge? And I just want you to notice that as we start this, it's not that hard. It's not hard right from the get-go. It doesn't get hard till the middle. And we've got plenty of time to warm up to that. So that's our first lesson from this ride, is that starting to work on this thing is not that hard. It's just, we just got to start, right? We got to dedicate 5 minutes to it. We are adding resistance until we find hard effort. That's 8 on a scale of 1 to 10, and we are hovering at 60 RPMs. Let's get it out of the saddle. So I have thought of my challenge. I'll share it with you. We are just finishing a program at the Utah State Prison. 5 women are graduating from a yoga teacher training program. It's been a year, and it's been so tricky because of COVID and lockdowns and all that stuff. But we're at the finish line. And for me, that means I want to get something else started out there, like strike while the iron's hot, because the administration, the media, everyone is very, very grateful and kind of high on the accomplishment that we've made here. So I want to get another program going, not only for men, but for officers. And that seems huge to me. It's going to take a lot of work, knocking on doors, wading through red tape and bureaucracy, pushbacks. But we've done it. We've actually done it 3 times now, and we can do it again. So that's my big thing. So today, I'm going to spend 5 minutes and make the first phone call to get that ball rolling. Something I've been procrastinating for a while because I know what kind of work it's going to take. And I already have a pretty full schedule. But it's important. It's a deep desire of my heart. There is much need. So that's going to be my boulder today. I'm committed publicly that when we're done with this ride, I'm going to make that phone call. So what about you? What's your 5 minutes towards getting that big boulder in motion? Let your hips touch the saddle. So get a little bit lower, a little farther back, belly in and up. All right, progressive resistance. The hill gets harder in the next song. Have a seat. You can keep the resistance where it is, and we'll come on up to 65 RPMs. We're right here. Hard effort, 4 minutes. Okie dokie. Relax your upper body. Find that push point. So now I have taken a really big and important step towards my goal. I've first of all identified it, and then I've committed myself to someone else. Many people in this case, but I've publicly declared that that's my plan. So now I'm accountable. And I invite any of you to hold me accountable, to check back with me later today, tomorrow, next week, and see if I did what I said. Another powerful tool is visualization. So literally picturing the time of day that I sit in front of my computer and pull up that contact, and I dial the number. I've got my AirPods in and I visualize the conversation. So I can see that it's possible. I can see it happening. Let's take a moment to do that. Visualize your 5-minute first step to this big thing that's a challenge in your way, blocking your path. Can't get around it. You got to go up it. Let's add resistance. Core stays strong, pelvic floor light. Take a moment to check in with your knees. Loosen up the knee joint. Let it be glidey, loose and free. The muscles around it are strong. The knees just provide a point for movement. All right, my friends, will you add a little more and accelerate? This is the hardest part of this long hill. This is the peak. This is breathless. Hard resistance, faster legs. I want you to go breathless for a bit here. Just a bit, just a bit. We're going to keep the resistance hard, but we'll start to taper back down the other side of this mountain. Not downhill, just less steep. It's really not the back side of the mountain. The hill continues, it's just less steep. All right, so keep resistance where it is. Find 60 RPMs. Breathe deep. Woo. Oh my. Everybody okay? Okay, good. So we're about halfway in this one. We'll continue to climb. The next about 4.5 minutes is hard effort. I would love for you to have a lot of resistance on that wheel. You're strong, you're healthy, you are in action. Fingers and toes, stay loose. No sense having tension where we don't need it. Every minute, I'm going to ask you to add a touch of resistance so we stay really strong. 8 out of 10 on the effort scale. So that's our first minute or so. Let's add a little. We're not letting up. We're strong. We're intentional about getting up this. We've been putting it off. We've been procrastinating. It is time. And it just feels good when we check that box. We do that thing. Shoulders relaxed. Neck loose, face soft. Find that rhythm of breath. 4 in, 4 out. Let's add a little. Stand up. Give your pelvis a little break. You're still tapping the saddle, just not sitting in it. Let's weave the body side to side. Just a little shift over the midline. Feels good to be in action, doesn't it? I think so. Strong, strong, strong. Get a little bit aggressive here, okay? Woo. Add a touch more. Oh yeah. Come back down. Try not to come back down in resistance, just in posture. Woo. We're there. We got about a minute. Hips back, feet forward, head up. So this is you right in the middle of your challenge. This is you when it gets hard. And you knew it would. This is why you procrastinated. You knew it was going to be hard work. But you're in it now. And you're closer to finishing than starting. So there's only one thing to do. Stay in it. Stay with it. Stand. Okay. All right, folks. 60 RPMs to the finish. Have a seat. Stay right where you are with resistance. Sitting tall, breathing deep. Now, if this feels like it's still an 8, like it's still super, super hard, let off maybe a quarter turn. Not too easy. Stay in work mode. Moderate. Moderate is that place that just feels like good exercise. It's not easy, but it's not hard. It's sustainable. I want you right there. Might stretch out your neck a little bit, especially if you've been looking up at the screen a lot. Turn your chin down, stretch out through the neck, and then keep your eyes on the road ahead of you instead of the screen in front of you. I promise you're not going to miss a thing. I'm just pedaling on a bike going nowhere. All right, just for fun, bring one hand to the middle of your handlebars and sweep the other arm behind your back. Notice how that causes you to engage the core a little more intentionally. Makes you sit a little taller if you can't rest on your hands. So that front hand is super light. Switch hands. Spine is long, core is strong. Feeling that push point right in the middle of the work. Realize it just got a little bit easier because you've been in it for a while now. It's like autopilot. There's still work to be done, but it's not all a struggle. It's just doing the things, right? Find that rhythmic breath. That's always a go-to. In 4, out 4. In 4 counts, out 4 counts. Just match it with your pedal stroke. 2 hands down, out wide, but light. Another little trick we can use to engage the core more. Put your thumbs on the edge of the handlebars. So see how my fingers are just kind of hanging down, and just balance on your thumbs. Notice how that it's like impossible to round over and slump. You have to be tall. You have to use your core. You want that feeling all the time, even when you have your hands to rely on. Light thumbs. If your thumbs are turning white, too much pressure. Let it up a little bit. All right, this is our last song, Rest Your Hands. We're going to move from moderate to hard, back and forth, in and out of the saddle. So I want you to get some resistance on. That feels challenging. We'll stay at 60 RPMs. 3 minutes, and you, my friend, are done. So the saddle is hard. Standing will be a little bit more like moderate because we'll have our body weight. Let's find out, shall we? Reach forward, stand up. And you can come forward just a touch on this one. Don't worry about tapping the saddle. Let your body weight be on the pedals a bit more. Come down. That's going to be harder because you're behind the pedals and you got very little body weight. Got to just use the muscles. Stand up. Back to moderate. 7 out of 10. Good job, you guys. Have a seat. Hips on the back of the saddle. Make this hard effort. Feel both sitting bones evenly on the back of your saddle. Tall spine. Anytime you need to test yourself, go to thumbs. stand up. You could do the same thing here, thumbs on the front of the handlebars. If they're white, too much pressure. Super light hands. Down you go. Way back and down. Switch your lead leg. Come to the left strong leg and let it lead, because it will switch back pretty quickly without you thinking about it. Got a little over a minute to the end of this pyramid, this second climb. Whew. Stand it up. Thumbs or light hands. Have a seat. Shoulders are relaxed, elbows are soft. It's all good. All right, you guys, here we are. End of the line. Woo. Just for fun, turn it up to the end. Almost there. That should feel solid, strong, and sluggish. Ay. Ah. So fun though, right? Okay. Let's take resistance down but not off. And how about 1 minute of just tapering off? 1 minute of easy pedaling at the pace of your choice. So no matter what the challenge is, if you look behind you, you know there comes that day when you're done with it. You are on the other side. And whether life chose the challenge for you, or you chose the challenge yourself, as I am, there comes a day of completion. I can't even tell you the amount of work that went into getting yoga in the prison yoga teacher training and taking 3 groups all the way to graduation. So much work. And each time we come to the moment where I find myself now, where all that's left is a graduation celebration. And it's incredible and joyful to be at that finish line for all involved. Let's go to no resistance. Slow your legs down and sit up tall. Bring your fingers, your thumbs to your bottom ribs, your fingers to your hip bones, and just let that space stretch. So pull your bottom ribs up away from your hip bones as your legs slow down. Open up that belly space. Let your arms hang at your sides, and then inhale up. Exhale back slowly as far as you can go. So find your range of motion, top and bottom. Where do your arms stop? Next time the arms are up, cross your thumbs, soften your elbows a bit, and pull backwards. I know you can't see me, the top of my hands, but my thumbs are crossed. And just pulling back for a stretch through the chest, arms, and shoulders. Come down, look at your thumbs, and switch the way they're crossed. Come back up. Breathe in, breathe out. Legs are slow and easy. Slowly float your arms down, interlace your fingers behind you, or you could take a hold of the back of the saddle or a towel for a chest stretch. Legs even slower. And then go ahead and come off one side of your bike. And standing here, we're going to do a little combo exercise. So hands on the hips, press your hips forward. So stretch across hip flexors, belly, chest and shoulders. And then slide your hands down to your shins, and with a flat back, stretch your hamstrings, your glutes, your calves. Let's do that again. Soft knees, press your hips, come backwards. Breathe in. Slide down to shins, flat back, press. How about one more time? Press your hips, open up, breathe in. And slide forward. Breathe out. My friends, I sincerely hope you enjoyed this ride, and I wish you well on your challenge. If you'd like to share that with me through a private message or in the comments, I'd love to support you on taking this on. An object in motion stays in motion. Have a great day. I'll see you next time. Hi, friends. Just want to say thank you so much for joining me here for these workouts. If you like what you find here, make sure to subscribe. Give me a thumbs up, and I love when you leave comments. Let's keep working out together. We will make our world and the world a better place.